All right, welcome to Money Never Sleeps. This is a show where we talk about anything and everything that impacts the flow of money from around the corner to around the world. And today we are talking about NFTs. I've been speaking about this the past couple of shows, and I want to get a little more into it. The bottom line is that NFTs right now, you're dealing with a hype machine. People are hyping it on Twitter, on this, on that. They're hyping it. And look, even we had a digital artist just recently, Beeble. He just sold his piece, his digital piece at Christie's auction for 69 million. Now, did he get $69 million himself? No, it was purchased by a crypto investor in Singapore. He probably made a deal, and from what I gather, and I could be wrong, but I think he got 10% of the proceeds of that, which is still, good money. And I guess with the marketing and everything, Christie's got what they got. Now, the thing with it, NFTs right now you're in hype mode. So you have everything. You have celebrities, musicians, influencers, digital artists, social it's all over social media, athletes. They're getting involved. Gronk was just he has his NFT out there, and the guy he cracks me up, but just thank God he has people around him that can guide him. Okay, the world of NFTs basically is just starting to grow. All right, it's been around for a while. I want to separate something because I need people to understand this. Cryptocurrency, like a Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies like that, that's one thing. A non fungible token basically is just for that particular item. You can't separate it into pieces. You can't break it down into decimals. There's one thing, and you have hashtags, you have hash codes on there, you have key codes, you have things in there that show proof of ownership, that you own a thing or you did a thing, or transactionally it happened. That is one thing. Okay, blockchain is just the underlying technology that allows all this stuff to happen. Blockchain is an accounting system. Blockchain has been around for a long time, been used over and over. It's just, now that we're entering, or we've been in the digital age, you'll see more of this coming into light. We are, everything we do is blockchain enabled. It's advanced blockchain enabled, so it's something that you're going to see more of, and you do see it now. You have JP Morgan and other banks that are embracing it now. They're even putting together crypto baskets, where these banks are starting to bring these in because there's an appetite for their clients. The clients want it, their customers want it. So they have to be able to be the custodians of this. And trust me, it's not going to end there. There's going to be a lot more going on there. Now, and with the non fungible tokens, now, since they are for one item, basically you right now you have celebrities that are going and they're issuing them. They're building them on the Ethereum network. Not all of them, but some. They can be built on any crypto system. Basically, so they're doing it. You have musicians, and I mean, just look over here. You have influencers. You have, digital artists, social media. On social media, it's happening. Athletes doing it. So the value to me, it's not what you see here in front of you, because this is going to fade away. The people that are taking things out of it now, God bless you. You make your money, you do your thing. The long term value is when it evolves, and it will evolve. It will evolve because there's going to be a combination of real world and virtual world. You're going to have a combination of that. I mentioned, Ready Player One on the last show, and this is true. Watch the movie. This is true. How this is going to start to play out, where things you do in the virtual world will transcend into the real world because there'll be a crossover, and things you do in the real world can transcend and kind of integrate into your virtual world. So there's going to be a combination. It's going to happen. People will have a problem wrapping the head around it, but it's going to be our new reality as things move forward. And as we get out of the pandemic and people start congregating again, it's also going to change how how these things are utilized. And it's a great tool. It's a great tool because you have a lot of celebrities, and I'm going to touch on celebrities for a second. You have a lot of celebrities out there, and they know it. Any celebrity that's listening to this show, they know that if they have if they sign something, okay, and they give it to whoever, all right, chances are that's going to be duplicated, triplicated. I have to say that maybe 85% of all the the ink signature items that are out there, whether it be baseball, football, this, that, jerseys, all this stuff, that is probably not real. It's not authenticated. So how do you authenticate it? Okay, with utilizing blockchain, you're able to authenticate an item. So you have celebrities that are, and some are doing it. You're going to have more doing it. They're going to start using NFTs to go and authenticate what they're doing. What their items and their digital items. So that's going to be interesting, and there'll be value there over time. Okay, if it's connected with a physical item, and that's the thing which makes it interesting. If you cross over the physical and virtual, you bring it together, you're going to create ridiculous value with what you're doing. Okay, you have musicians now that are starting to do it. They're offering front row passes with whatever digital art they have. They have it in NFT, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're creating value for the person that's buying it, so they'll pay up for it because they're going to get intrinsic value. Now, for digital artists, just going and creating a digital piece of art and selling it as a print via utilizing NFT, it's good, because you're able to authenticate, or whoever buys it is able to authenticate that this is truly from the original artist. Okay, so on a blockchain, they're able to authenticate it with the hash code that's there, and that's positive for them because it helps sustain the value. Now, with a print, you'll be able to print it, I guess, and put it on your wall and do that, which is great. Now, the problem that comes with that is, well, it's not so much of a problem, is that now the artists, they have a numbered amount of prints they would go send put out. Okay, so they're not giving rights for anything else but for you to authenticate that you own that print, which is fine. Now, moving forward, now when you take a piece of art and a physical piece of art, and you do that, you can do the same. You can have a digital version, and you can have the real version, and basically put that in a package. It authenticates that they own it. Okay. Now, when it comes to other digital art, you know, the value is, I guess, is in the eye of the owner, whoever bought it. They see what value. Same thing with any piece of art. You can have a vase in front of you that can be a zillion years old, and to you it looks hideous. To the next person is like, wow, this is of value to me. So and they'll pay up for it. So it all depends on what someone is willing to pay for a thing, and that they kind of make that value themselves, I guess. But now you have musicians, as I mentioned, they're doing it, and there are different ways of doing it, and it could be very interesting. I see in the music industry, I can see, music artists taking, like, they'll have the original, like right now they're doing it. They have the original track that they're letting someone, buy an NFT, so they own the original track, but digitally. They don't actually own the rights to it. They own the bragging rights to say they own it. They can't utilize it. They can't license it out. And I think that's where the problem's going to come in, because what do you do with it? You tell your friends, "Oh, I own the first one." I guess if you're like Steve Cohen and you can blow money like that, great. But let's talk about reality. When the hype's over, where's the value? So I believe that there has to be something more there, with even having a soundbite from something. Okay, there could be value there if it can be licensed out. If you can license it out, that can be interesting. Okay, if you have digital art and you own the original master of it, and that's what you bought in the NFT, That's great. Now, what can you do with it? Can you go make copies? Can you sell prints on that? Can you go and license it out to an advertising agency to utilize it? This is where all the monetization comes in. And this is what you're going to see. You have athletes, like as I said, Gronk and other athletes, and you can go. I've seen it on various sites where they have the trading cards, the digital trading cards, and they're animated, and they have them there. They have people make one of a kinds. Now, the question I have with that, if you have pictures from an NFL game, which of course that's what it is, do you have the rights to use that without the NFL's involvement? Okay, and that's going to be something that's going to come up, I'm sure. There has to be rights there. You just can't create something and utilize something from a game. But you have artists that are creating, they're creating these cool digital masterpieces and trading cards that are animated and people buy. Now, is it a cool thing? Sure it is. But is there going to be value? Can you do something with it? I don't see how you can. But then again, look at Tops, and the digital cards they have. There's value there because people like collectibles, so there could be something there. It's just not, but that part is not my cup of tea. But there's something there. It just has to evolve into something more. um you have what else do we have? When you start seeing, and this is funny thing, when you start seeing these YouTube and social media influencers starting to create these NFTs and get this stuff out there, be very weary of that, because what are they doing? They're marketers. They're marketing. They're marketers. They're not Super Bowl champions. They're not World Series champions. They're not fighting champions. They're not any of that. They're influencers on social media, and they may get a lot of followers and everything else, but what do you have there? What I mean, I guess if somebody wants to buy it, I mean, yeah, sure, but I don't see the long term value with that, because these people will get older at some point. I mean, is anyone going to know them in 10 years? You'll know a Super Bowl champion in 10 years. You'll know certain people in 10 years. Are you going to know an influencer in 10 years? I don't know. Maybe if they continue to rise up, I don't know. But this is all the rage now, as I said. But you have to, with the NFTs, there has to be something more. Okay, now with the digital artists, if you give the right to reprint and to license, then you can get top dollar for what you have. Becomes interesting. But then again, it comes down to who you partner up with and how the deal is structured. So there's a lot there that you need to learn, and you're not going to learn this in one sitting. You have to absorb all the information. Because I know you probably have there are a lot of artists out there that are probably getting contacted about this, and I tell the ones that I know, just be aware of what you're getting involved with, because at the end of the day, it can hurt you more than it can help you if you get involved with the wrong people. All right. Now, social media is being utilized for it, but then again, social media posts too are being sold. Jack Dorsey's first tweet sold for 2 point something million dollars. Okay. But does that mean that this tweet is not going to be used anywhere else? This is the question. You own the first tweet. Great. What does that mean? Where's the value to say you own his tweet, or to say you own the rights to his tweet, that you can license it out and you can resell it? So basically NFTs can become a business if you have the right deals in place, and this is what people are going to be looking for. If you have the right deals in place, the bottom line is, for whoever's buying it, if they're collecting, you can have your collectible NFTs. That's great. I'm looking at the value of what can happen with this art, because if someone's collecting a piece and they just want to keep it, that's their prerogative. They just keep it. They can just keep the digital art. They do nothing else with it. They just let it sit there for 20 years, and maybe it's worth something more later on. All right. The bottom line is, you don't know what can happen. Okay. The digital art can be worth nothing, at the end of the day, or it can be worth everything. It's just how things are going to evolve within the digital world we live in. Again, you have a lot of athletes that are doing this, and they're creating digital assets. They're creating NFTs, and they're going and getting them out there, and they're selling them, and they're making money off of it because it's coming directly from them, and that's probably where you're going to see that value, because it's not coming from a a fan. It's coming from just because it's on my mind. Gronk is coming from him. It's coming from his people. Then it's authentic, and there's value there because now it's him doing it. So if Tom Brady did that, there's value from him. So it gives athletes the opportunity to monetize their celebrity, right? So that's a good thing. Now celebrities can do this too. They can have original things that are created for them. Let's say if Robert Downey Jr. did this, now could he use Iron Man and everything? Probably not, because you got to make a deal with Disney and everything else. But can he take his own image and have his stuff and put it on digital items? Most definitely. Okay, and because if it's coming from his house, if it's coming from his people, from with his name on it, it holds value, and it'll hold value for some time, because now you say you own it. Now, having the rights to print and everything, at that point I don't think it's going to matter, because now you have something directly from the individual and his group. There's value there. Okay, now for those that don't have the celebrity, that are doing stuff, the NFTs, they can be of value if you're looking to create authentic items where people can have the ability to trace it back to you, that it shows proof of ownership. And that can hold true for not only what I have listed here, but blockchain, and we'll call it NFT, can be utilized for real estate to go and prove ownership of something, to solidify a transaction. That something happened. It can be utilized, and even buying a car and doing that stuff. When you have that on a blockchain, it's irrefutable evidence that of ownership of the transaction. You can't argue the point. You can't go and say, well, I didn't go and perform this transaction, because it'll be there, and you have your public keys and everything that show up. So, if someone really needed to trace something back, they probably could. Okay, but anyway, I just wanted to go over this stuff, because I've been getting, and I've been getting a lot of calls from people, and emails and messages. Like, all of a sudden, everybody is interested in NFTs, and then you have people that don't know anything about blockchain, anything else. They become NFT experts. Really, we've been doing this for a long time, so any the information that I'm laying out is as good as I can bring to you during this show. And I think, again, it's just information to educate. You take what you want from it, and you don't take what you don't want. I just felt it was my obligation to bring this forward so people understand. People understand now, and this is for my bodybuilding and powerlifting friends out there. You can go and do something too. You can go and create. You can create some digital assets, as long as they're coming from you. As long as they're coming from you. If other people are creating digital assets based on your image and things of that nature, it's not coming from you. I don't see that value being there, unless the person's involved. Unless the person's involved. So I think that you're going to see a lot of this stuff coming forward. you know, and I'm sure you're going to see Sly Stallone's going to come out with something, and this one and that one, and so on and so forth. But again, if it's coming from their people, then there's value. So anyway, I just wanted to go over this stuff. I'm gonna probably do another show on this, share information, just to give my view on things, and I kind of just tell it like it is. I'm not getting too technical on things, because people get confused. It's very simple. People are creating digital assets, and they're selling them, and the NFT is showing proof of ownership. Okay, Period. The end. Irrefutable proof of ownership. All right. Anyway, that's about it for this episode of Money Never Sleeps. I want to wish you guys a great weekend. Enjoy. And I'll be back with you probably on Monday. And I'm going to talk about some more things. I have some ideas. I have some ideas. I want to talk about some stuff. And I'll be back with you guys on Monday. Until then, enjoy and enjoy your family. Be safe. Take care.